Hello there, welcome to my show, COVID-19 update by Heerak. As you know, I am running for U.S. Congress in Virginia's 8th District. That includes Arlington County, Fairfax County, City of Alexandria, and Falls Church in Northern Virginia. Today is Saturday, October 10th, 2020, and it's Happy Universal Music Day. And you are hearing black gospel music, which is a distinctive creation of the United States of America. If you go to church tomorrow, Sunday, an African American church near you, you will hear black gospel music like this, which is a very important part of black culture. A lot of black gospel music focuses on praising God and how great God is. As you know, COVID-19 cases are spiking all over America right now. But, you know, we praise the Lord in good times and bad times, in sickness and health, in wealth and in poverty. As Job, in the book of Job, in the Old Testament, in the Holy Bible said, naked I came into this world, naked shall I return. Thanks be to God. God gives and God takes away. Uh, God be praised. Whether God gives you something or takes something away from you, you have to praise the Lord, right? God can give you health. God can take your health away. God can give you love. And if your husband dies of a heart attack or stroke or cancer or COVID-19, that is God's will, right? And you still have to thank God. You can't blame God. God gave you a beautiful child. God may take away your beautiful child during the flu season that's 6 months long in America, but you still praise the Lord, because God gives and God takes away. Thanks be to God. And that's the testimony of a true Christian, right? Obviously, you don't want God to take away your child, but if you're reckless and you send your child to school physically, obviously COVID-19 is a killer virus that infects people to people, and your kid gets COVID and dies. It's not God's fault, it's your fault. You sent the child to school, right? And as you know, Heerak Christian Kim, independent candidate for U.S. Congress in Virginia's 8th District, worked 3 long months every day, very, very hard for hours and hours to close down Virginia 8th District Public Schools, Arlington County Public Schools, Alexandria City Public Schools, Fairfax County Public Schools, Falls Church City Public Schools. I worked hard for 3 months, hours every day to save your children's lives. And I was successful. I'm Heerak Christian Kim, independent candidate for U.S. Congress in Virginia's 8th District. All 4 public school districts in Virginia's 8th District closed. because I worked so hard to do that. Fairfax County was going to open their school partially, and they announced that in July, and I bombarded Fairfax County Public Schools with pleas to close it down. And thankfully, Fairfax County Public Schools closed down. Even with Fairfax County Public Schools closed down, Fairfax County is number one for new COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours with 125 new cases. Fairfax County will definitely have the most number of deaths, even with schools closed. If schools open, you're going to have tens of thousands of more deaths, and you may even go to 100, over 100,000. So keep Fairfax County Public Schools closed. You should write to your Fairfax County School Board. You should write to Fairfax County Public Schools um, principals in your area. Your child goes to Fairfax County Public Schools, write to your own principal, write to the superintendent, email him, and write to the teacher, your child's teacher, telling your teacher you want the school closed, you don't want your child to die from COVID-19. You gotta do your part as a parent if you want your child not to die. God giveth and God takes away. God's gonna take away your child if you're reckless with your child, right? You should not be doing trick-or-treating at the end of this month because you increase your chance of losing your child by your reckless behavior. COVID-19 is a killer virus that kills. Now, God works within the confines of the natural world. So if you walk around naked in winter time without clothes on, you're going to get a frostbite. You may die, you may get hypothermia and die, right? You're not Superman, you're not God. God works within the confines of natural laws that he has created when he created the world. So if you walk naked around the neighborhood for hours in winter, when it's snowing outside, you probably will get frostbitten, hypothermia, and maybe die, right? There's a high chance you could die because you're being reckless. Because God has created his world and he has natural laws that govern his world. Like when it's cold, you gotta wear hot clothing. You gotta have heat, whether it's heat by natural gas, heat by solar energy. But in the wintertime, sun is kind of weak. Heat by wind energy, if you can create that. Heat by coal, fossil fuels. You need heat to survive, right? If you don't have heat, you're gonna freeze to death. So until we develop cheap alternative fuels, we have to use coal, fossil fuel, natural gas to heat people so they don't die because people come first, right? The environment doesn't come first, people come first. If people die this year because they're cold because they don't have fossil fuel to heat their homes, or coal to heat their home, then who cares what happens 10 years from now for that family, right? They lose their life. So in cold, you have to heat your home in order to stay warm, in order to live. Um, in the same way, this is COVID-19 America. If you send your children to school physically when COVID-19 is growing, then you should not be surprised if your child gets COVID-19 and dies. We know your child can die from COVID-19. As I've explained before, in April, COVID-19 has mutated in New York to start killing children, babies. Well, today I want to let you know that the Lord says it shall be done. Yes, it shall be done. The Lord says this, if you send your child in a COVID-laden school, it shall be done. Your child's going to get COVID. Your child will die. God blesses, God curses. God works within the confines of his world. So if you are reckless with your children's lives, you're at fault for your child dying from COVID. My recommendation to all the parents in the United States of America, in all 50 states and all U.S. territories, is not to send your child to school if your school is open and has in-person learning. Do not send your child to school because COVID-19 spreads from person to person. Do you want your child to die? It's better for your child not to die and have less education than for your child to die with all the knowledge in the world. Because once your child is dead, game is over. Education is overrated anyway. Education is not worth losing your child's life. So obviously, with 100% online learning, you could get great education. Like in Arlington County Public Schools, Alexandria City Public Schools, Fairfax County Public Schools, Falls Church City Public Schools provide excellent education online. Liberty University in Virginia, you could do a bachelor's program 100% online without going to the campus even one day for classes. And there are many universities like this. So there's no reason for you to physically go to a class to get education. We're not living in the Middle Ages. We're living in 21st century America with internet and all the electronic resources. There's no reason for your child to go to school physically in COVID-19 America because your child can end up like this. You can end up like this if your child gets COVID and give it to you. Why do you want to risk it? What, you don't think God's going to work within the natural laws of the world? You can be the greatest Christian in the world if you're reckless with your child, reckless with yourself during COVID-19. You're going to get COVID-19 and die. Why, you think God's going to just throw away a miracle on you? When you were reckless with your life, when you were reckless with your child's life, you think God's going to save you from COVID once you get it? When you have just defied God's natural law, which God himself created to govern the natural world? No, God wants us to work within the natural laws of the world. When it's cold outside, God wants us to warm ourselves by building a fire or having heat through fossil fuel, coal, natural gas. Obviously, I would like to see a world where we have alternative fuel that helps the environment, but that's not the priority. Human life is the priority, right? You don't want human lives to die because you are so liberally ideological that you want to get rid of fossil fuel even if it kills poor people who need cheap fuel, right? Alternative fuel sources are like 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times more expensive than fossil fuel or coal. You don't want to be killing people with your liberal ideology. That's what liberals like to do, right? They don't care about human life. Why do you think you don't have a stimulus check? Because Nancy Pelosi wants to push her liberal agenda, so she doesn't care if you don't get stimulus check or not. President Trump passed the $1.8 billion stimulus package to Pelosi, and she'll reject it because she's so liberal. She doesn't want to save your life, your children's life, by giving you stimulus checks. She wants her liberal agenda. You should have gotten a stimulus check in August or September if it weren't for Pelosi and her liberal agenda to deprive you and your children of stimulus checks. Because she has this liberal wish list as your family suffers. And that's the problem of this election, right? Politicians are playing with your life. Nancy Pelosi is playing with your life. That's why she's not going to sign that stimulus check offer sent by President Donald Trump, because she's playing with your life. Nancy Pelosi thinks she's God. As you know, I'm running for U.S. Congress in Virginia's 8th District. And, if I'm elected, and I'm hoping I will, vote for me for Virginia's 8th District on absentee ballot, on November 3rd, the early voting, just go in and write my name. As you know, if you've been watching this show, I filed a lawsuit against Governor Northam and Virginia Board of Elections to put my name on the ballot because Governor Northam issued a stay-at-home order on March 30th to go to June 10th. And I was running as a Republican until February when I had to did not have to collect any signatures because I was headed to the Republican convention. But God directed me in a different direction. And I talk about that in one of the videos in my YouTube channel, Heerak Christian Kim for Congress YouTube. So you could locate that video and watch it. So God directed me to run as an independent. And God is wise. I follow God's will. And so starting March, I started running as an independent, which meant that I had to collect 1,000 signatures by June 9th. But Governor Northam issued a stay-at-home order on March 30th to last till June 10th, making it illegal for me to collect the signatures. So I wrote to Virginia Department of Elections saying, give me a waiver on the 1,000 signatures because Governor Northam issued a stay-at-home order, making it illegal for me to collect the signatures by June 9th. Chip Piper, the commissioner of Virginia Board of Elections, wrote back. He's the head honcho, and he said he doesn't have the authority, legal authority, to give me a waiver. I think he wanted to. If he had the authority, he would have given it to me, but he said he doesn't have the authority, legal authority to do that. So I wrote to Governor Northam, said, give me a waiver. Because he's the governor. He's the one who issued the executive order. He didn't write back yet. I mean, I haven't heard back from him since I wrote him that letter months and months and months ago. On June 3rd, I filed a lawsuit at Arlington Circuit Court in Arlington County because, Virginia governor did not write back. So, but COVID-19 has slowed the court cases down. So it's kind of stuck in the system, but I'm official running for U.S. Congress of Virginia's 8th District. So just write my name in Heerak Christian Kim, independent candidate for U.S. Congress. Just write Heerak Christian Kim for Virginia's 8th District for U.S. Congress. You can send me to Congress and show the congressman that you want someone to represent you who cares about your life and your children's life. Right? I worked 3 months to close Virginia 8th District Public Schools down, all 4 of them. What did Tom Byer do? He did not do anything. He's the current congressman I'm running against. So vote for Heerak Christian Kim, independent candidate for U.S. Congress to have the leadership you need in COVID-19 America. As you noticed through the newspapers and internet news, there's not going to be a vaccine at least until March. They pushed back October deadline to March. Most likely closer to March, they're going to push that back all the way to like summer or November. It takes 2 years to develop a vaccine generally that works, and sometimes no vaccine works. Like for HIV, there's no vaccine that works. Hepatitis C virus, there's no vaccine that works. COVID-19 is far more complex than hepatitis C virus and HIV. So I'm predicting there's not going to be a vaccine that works. I mean, during a Spanish flu pandemic of 1918, they rushed the vaccine and got a lot of hundreds of thousands of people, maybe even millions of people vaccinated, and it didn't work. More people died in the second flu season. Some say some died from the vaccine. We don't know. I mean, they didn't really do research on that. So that's why, I wouldn't take a vaccine that's created less than 2 years. It takes time to observe people who are vaccinated to see if they're developing side effects. COVID-19 is a crazy virus. You don't want to mess with that. So until we have a vaccine, we may never have vaccine for decades and decades and decades. The best way to save your life is by staying away from other people. So here are Christian, that's me, independent candidates for U.S. Congress of Virginia 8th District. I'm recommending that you and your family shelter in place and to socialize with your family members. Socialize with other people online through video chat. There's, you could use your phone to video chat. You could video chat over computer. There's no reason for you to physically go and meet people when you could die from COVID-19. So, so I would encourage you to socialize only online. If you go to church, do not socialize. Just go to church, worship, come home. Socialize online. I'm predicting that at least 20% of the people who go to church will get COVID and die from it. But obviously, church is important. You go and worship God. It's okay to die. If you die from worshiping God, right? You go to heaven earlier. Obviously, hopefully, you don't get COVID and die. But this is a killer virus. It's not like God's going to create a COVID-19 death-free zone in church. Every church is going to have people die from COVID. And many of them will get COVID inside church. If you go to church, just look straight ahead. Don't touch other people very close. You don't know where COVID. Worship, come home. Socialize through video at home. That's what you need to do, right? Nobody's getting daily temperature checks at the church, right? Although that's not a bad idea. For ushers to stand outside with your temperature gun to get everybody's temperature checked. You want to take precautions. You don't want to you don't want your church to be in the news as a hotspot for COVID, right? That'd be embarrassing. So it's not a bad idea to have ushers outside with a temperature gun, measuring everybody's temperature, people who have high temperature, and you can have a big sign and let all your church members know, way in advance so they don't get surprised. Send a letter send email, send text messages regarding this. Have temperature checks and allow only people who have low temperatures to come in. And then have free masks ready to hand out to people who don't have a mask. 100% of your church members should be wearing a mask. Ideally, like a mask that when you wear in a hospital, surgical mask, not a cloth mask like this one. Surgical mask, which is like hospital mask, because it has 3 layers of protection, 3 layers of filter, and that you need a filter to protect you, right? So you can order a box of 50 for like $20 on Amazon. I mean, the price may go up when flu season hits really bad. So order like 100 boxes of 50 masks each. I mean, if COVID-19 ends for some reason, you can always donate remaining boxes to a hospital or, somewhere. Medical center in inner city neighborhoods or rural areas, they always need supplies. Right now, a lot of hospitals could run out of supplies, especially in inner city and rural areas during the flu season. That's 6 months long, 6 long months. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. If you're a billionaire or millionaire, donate boxes of surgical masks and N95 masks to inner city hospitals, medical centers, rural hospitals. You can donate N95 masks for Billy Graham Center. They have a Samaritan Purse. Volunteers need like N95 masks to protect themselves for the next 6 months. A lot of people are going to die. And Reverend Franklin Graham is pretty good about going over there to hotspots with his medical team. But I wish Reverend Franklin Graham would share the gospel with everybody that he helps, because what's the point of, as a Christian organization, what's the point of helping people if you're not going to share the gospel, right? The Great Commission is the reason, right? Jesus is the reason. You take Jesus out of it, you're not really a Christian organization anymore. But yeah, if you're a millionaire Christian or billionaire Christian, buy, N95 masks. They're very expensive. And send it to like Billy Graham Ministries. Like there are Christian ministries, Catholic charities, Catholic healthcare systems. Where people need these masks. So you can buy 10 million boxes and send them over. Do something you can to help people. And giving cash is good, but if you give like Samaritan Purse $1 million, they may not use that money for masks. They need masks, right? for workers, they may have other, quote, priorities. So just buy like 1 million masks and ship it over. Then they can't say, what are you gonna do? Don't give them a receipt so they can't send it back. Then they have these 1 million masks and they have to use them. You might have saved a lot of volunteer lives. Well, they're gonna run out of masks. So and you need at least this level protection. Cloth masks will not work if you're a healthcare volunteer. Like with Samaritan Purse, but the N95 mask is what you should wear. You can order like face, masks, face shields, but in airborne precautions, you need like a respirator. So yeah, you can wear N95 mask and a face shield. So if you're a millionaire Christian, look up Christian churches that have soup kitchens in your city, in your town, and you can buy, thousands of boxes, you know, million box of N95 masks and ship it to the, local Christian food shelters. Do what you can in your city. You know, um, you know, um, yeah, but you need to do something if you're a millionaire, billionaire to help the situation. And as you know, I'm Heerak Christian Kim, independent candidate for U.S. Congress in Virginia's 8th District. And I'm the Leonardo da Vinci of 21st century. That's why I have all these good ideas that I give you. If you're a millionaire, billionaire, and you have all this money and you want to help, you may not know how to help. So I'm giving you this idea. You see what I'm saying? Um, it's better to send them now because it takes time for shipping. By the time your million boxes arrive at American First, we may have like 5,000 or more COVID-19 deaths per day, even if you order now. You see what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, or you could even your local church could mask up to the worship service. Like you could, nurses. As you know, I'm a nurse in Virginia Hospital Center, and I worked 12-hour shift yesterday, 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And I wear this mask, and we have a face shield. Um, and when we deal with patients who are not COVID-19 patients, when we are dealing with COVID-19 patients, we have to wear like, oh my gosh, like what you see in the back, uh, something close to that. Um, but like when we're not dealing with COVID-19 patients, we wear this mask and we have a face shield. Um, yeah, so this mask is a good mask. So your local church, if you're going to church and a church member, and your pastor may be a little bit slow, or your elder may be a little bit slow, and they may not have bought the mask or require masks for your church members, and that's a bad idea. Because as I said, God works through his natural laws. And if you violate the natural laws, like if you walk around naked in freezing weather, you're going to get hypothermia, die. If you walk around without a mask in COVID-19 America, natural laws shows us that you're going to get COVID and die. So if your pastor's a little slow because he's not like a scientist, or he studied theology, he may not know science that much. Or your elder is not like a scientist. Maybe you can help your church by buying like million masks. I mean, if you have money to spend and you want to help your church, um, the best thing you can do in COVID-19 America, which is 6 months long, next 6 months, buy masks, so that your church doesn't have to spend money to buy masks. You're helping your church. If your church has like million masks, they want to get rid of it, right? So they could hand out free masks every Sunday to people at your church. That can help people at your church. So you can do what you can in your church, in your own church, to save lives during COVID-19 America. You see what I'm saying? You gotta do your part if you're a millionaire, billionaire. God gave you much, much is expected from you, right? The best thing you can do in COVID-19 America is not give food to people, but masks to people. You could go like 40 days without any food, but if you don't have a mask and there's somebody with COVID, you get infected and die. Yeah. So work within the created order of God, because God created the world and God created the rules that govern the world. Yeah, so you gotta work within God's creation. God's creation has order. It's not a chaos, right? God's world is an ordered universe, and it operates through rules that God has set to govern his creation. Right? God is not God of chaos. God is God of order. So don't be like not wearing masks and going to church, because that's like you define God's order, because God's order shows that virus will infect people who who don't have a mask. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So work within the created order of God, and that's the way you respect God, by wearing a mask when virus is spreading, recognizing that God is the God of order. God works through order in the universe. Don't be going like without a mask in your church. That's like insulting God. Because God created COVID-19, even if it's modified by Chinese, right? It's a living organism. Let's say you clone your dog. Um, Still, God created that, right? Like if you and your wife have sex, it's your sperm that fertilized your wife's egg, and it goes through the natural laws of developing into a zygote and then a baby. But God still created your baby. You see what I'm saying? In the same way, even if the Chinese manipulated and genetically modified a virus to make a COVID-19, the final product is creation of God. Everything in the world is creation of God. Yeah, every living thing. Because God not only creates life, God sustains life. If God wanted COVID-19 to die, COVID-19 will die. If God wants you to die, you will die. God sustains life, God creates life, but God also sustains life. So don't be disrespecting God and not wearing a mask at your church. Because God is God of order. God wants you to wear a mask at his church when you worship him. God doesn't want you to engage in reckless behavior, socializing without a mask with church members. God doesn't want that. God gets offended when you don't respect his created order and the rules that govern his created order. You see why this show is important? Because there are a lot of ignoramuses who are church leaders who are saying, oh, don't wear a mask. What, is he going to tell you to walk around naked when it's snowing outside? You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing. It's reckless behavior. God works within the created order. So wear a mask. And as I said, if you're a millionaire or billionaire, donate millions of masks for your church to give out to church members. Or, homeless people whom your church helps, they need masks. It's not like they need food. Food's not going to protect them against COVID-19. Mask is number one priority. Um, yeah. Yeah, so I think Nobel Prize should have been awarded to people who've given masks to COVID-19 to poor people, not people who give food to poor people. Mask is a priority in a virus late in the world. That saves more money than food. Um, yeah, certainly that's going to be the case in this flu season. Um, yeah, you see a photo of myself with my father and mother in 2019 Thanksgiving. My family celebrates Thanksgiving together. So my father, my mother, myself, my sister and her husband. But my sister and her husband, they alternate with my father and mother, and then her husband's father and mother. So this year, um, we celebrated with me, my younger sister, my father, my mother, my other sister, Vicky, and her husband, Jason, went to Jason's parents to celebrate Thanksgiving. Um, yeah, so my sister Vicky and my parents and my other sister Elizabeth, they all live in Delaware, so they see each other every day. But I drive in to celebrate Thanksgiving, Christmas, But right now there's COVID-19, so I'm being very careful because if you're living in one household and you're like socially distancing and isolating, working from home, everything is safe. But as you know, I work at Virginia Hospital Center, hospital setting for 24 hours. Um, so I want to be careful, I don't want to be the reason because I'm a nurse, right? Nurses have a very risky job, and nurses can get COVID and infect their children. So nurses may not die, but their children can die. You see what I'm saying? Or their husband. So I'm going to be very careful. I mean, I'm encouraging U.S. government to develop respirators, right? U.S. technology companies and European companies to develop these permanent respirators that people wear and socialize with. That's like 99.9% foolproof or 100% foolproof against COVID-19. N95 is not 100% foolproof. We need like next generation respirators that are like guaranteed not to spread COVID. People, and obviously you can't eat food when you socialize with a respirator. The moment you lift the mask, then you get COVID. So yeah, so 2019 Thanksgiving was great. My mom goes all out. My sister Elizabeth, she's a great cook. She takes care of my mom and my dad. Um, and she did most of the cooking. So my mom used to do all the cooking, but now she does all the cooking. She's really good at cooking. The food was really good. Next to this photo underneath me, my mom took a photo of me and my sister, but she had a finger on the camera, like with the cell phone. You know how people like put their finger on the camera by mistake? They're holding it like this, you know? So yeah, our heads got cut off. But my younger sister took a photo of me and my mom, and she knows how to use the camera, a cell phone camera. So it turned out okay. And then I took a photo of our family dog we had for many years. And Thanksgiving is when you set up Christmas tree, right? And you start wearing Christmas sweaters. So the family dog was wearing a Christmas sweater. I would encourage you to set up Christmas decorations earlier, maybe even as early as October. Your children need like festive spirit. And I'm encouraging all of you to avoid trick or treating. So maybe you could put up Christmas decorations over Halloween. And you could have like candies and stuff at home. Make it fun for your children, but you don't go trick or treating. So maybe set up Christmas tree on Halloween. That way if your children have something fun to do, and you have like candies and stuff, make it like a family fun. Then you go all out, like Kevin Chase's family vacation Christmas. You could go and set up like Christmas decoration in every room outside of your home, and you gotta be careful with your children, but you could use a ladder to go up in your ceiling and set something up, and your children can like just watch, play, kind of guard outside. So make a fun event, and it's warm enough to be outside in October 31st. So maybe over the several days around Halloween, don't go trick or treating if you don't want your child to die from COVID. You don't want to die from COVID. But unfortunately, Halloween is going to spread COVID-19 like wildfire in America, in every state. In every state, in every U.S. territory, even military bases, you're going to have COVID-19 spreading like wildfire. Because number one, college students like to party on Halloween. That's one of the most fun times to party because you dress up in a costume. It's really fun to dress up in a costume, right? And Georgetown University, where I did 2 years of full-time master's in clinical nurse leader program. We had a Halloween party the first year in the fall. After several months after our program started, we went to party at Meredith Greenwich's apartment, and we had a nice party for Halloween. And Meredith Greenwich, she's actually from Ohio, and she was the president of Graduate Nursing Association from 2019 to 2020. And she's a great president. But one of the reasons she became president is because she threw out this Halloween party. Throwing parties makes you popular, right? So, I dressed up like a Spider-Man. And Meredith Heerak, she had like I guess like a blue wig, and she was really cute in that. She's blonde, natural blonde. She's really pretty. She's from Ohio, and yeah, and she threw a great Halloween party. But some of my friends went to like 5, 6 different Halloween parties, And obviously, our party wasn't on Halloween. It was on a different night, like So, like for college students, and there are college students now in DC, near Georgetown area. The college students in Arlington, Alexander Foster, Fairfax County. Many of them will go to not one Halloween party, they'll go to like two, three, four Halloween parties. So you're gonna have a Halloween party on Friday of the Halloween time. You may go to Saturday Halloween party. You may go to a Halloween party on Halloween day itself. There are Halloween parties like a week before. The weekend, 1 week before, including the whole weekend, there are Halloween parties, costume parties everywhere. So you have to see October Halloween as like super spreader. I mean, think about it. Anybody who parties will be going to a Halloween party. Like if there are 100 students who party, they like to party. Out of 100 students who like to party, 100 students will be at a Halloween party, at least one. I mean, you know, that's what you can expect throughout America. University of Virginia, University of Mary Washington, Old Dominion University, Marymount University in Arlington, George Mason University in Fairfax County, Virginia Commonwealth University in Richmond, University of Richmond in Richmond, Longwood University, I forgot which city it's in, but near Richmond, 1 hour south. College of William and Mary, um, Mary Baldwin University, Virginia Tech, Virginia Military Institute, Radford University, Lynchburg University, Virginia Wesleyan University, and East Mennonite University in Virginia, and Liberty University. You don't think there are people who party at Liberty University? Yes. Yeah, I mean, every Christian college has students whose parents force them to go to Christian college, and they're, like bad boys and bad girls in Christian colleges to party. Like, they party secretly maybe, but among the other bad boys. Um, yeah, I mean, there's going to be like super spreader. After October 10th, October 30th, I meant, today's October 10th, um, 31st, Halloween, that whole season, it's not just one day, right? Parties are like, it takes place over 2 week period. Like, you could possibly go to a Halloween party every day if you can find it, like in DC area, in college towns. Um, yeah, you're gonna have a spike in COVID-19 like you never thought was possible. Yeah, yeah. I mean, Virginia can have like 5,000 cases of COVID-19 every day after Halloween. Right now we have over 1,000 cases per day, but yeah, after Halloween, and obviously during flu season, cases mean death. We're gonna have a lot of death, and it's not like we're gonna become mild season, mild symptoms like in the summer. Most people will develop full-fledged like um, suffering from COVID. Um, and the flu season is 6 months long. We're not at the tail end of it, in which case you get it in May and you luck out. Go to June and it'll be mild. It's not going to be like that. You have 6 months ahead of flu season. Yeah, you can go home. You get discharged from the hospital. Go home at the time. Like you see that Governor Christie was discharged from the hospital. He could still die, today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, at home. A lot of people get discharged from hospital and die at home. Because maybe they didn't get rid of the infections or the inflammation. Maybe hospital did not locate um, all the problems in your organ, right? So being discharged from hospital is not always a good thing. When you are talking about a global pandemic, a killer virus that people know little about, so being discharged is nothing to celebrate. If you're still alive like 3 months later, then you can celebrate. But until then, I wouldn't celebrate prematurely. Um, yeah. So we had 1,164 COVID-19 um, uh, deaths um, in 24 hours. So we are now at 214,004 deaths in America. Now you can see death is spiking up. It's only beginning of October. By October 31st, I mean, we may have much higher. And after Halloween, it's going to be crazy. I mean, that's why if you're a parent, do not go trick or treating. Obviously, I'm telling college students not to go to college Halloween parties, but you're going to go. I understand that. As you know, I was vice president of Georgetown University Graduate Student Government from May 2019 to May 2020, and I understand how college students think. Representing 9,000 students at Georgetown. Um, and I was academic officer elected by a bunch of British people at Cambridge University. 20,000 students, including undergraduates and graduate students. And so I understand how students think. So, but I'm still telling the students not to party, but I understand you're going to party. It's just like mother telling you not to party, you're going to sneak out and party. You know what I'm saying? Even good girls party when they are in college. Good girls. Because your parents are not there, and if your friends drag you to a party, you're gonna go. And in college, it's a little bit different from like living on the parents' roof in high school, right? Um, but the problem is just by going to a party, you get COVID-19. That's the problem. I mean, there are people go to party and they just like, they don't do anything crazy, but we're not talking about getting pregnant or we're talking about dying from COVID, right? This is a completely different issue. Like just like going to a party and talking to people, you get COVID. Um, it's not like they're gonna like temperature check everybody who's going into the party. You know what I mean? I mean, those people consider that kind of lame if you're college age. Yeah, I mean, there's a culture in every generation, and there's a party culture in college in all 50 states, not just in America, but in England, Scotland, Wales, Germany, France. There's a party culture. When Ed and I, we are the dudes, as you know. Whenever we've traveled together, we went to different parties. So when we were in Nice, in France, we went to like the most hip dance club in Nice. And when we were in Paris, we went to the most hip dance club in Paris. Uh, so we went to like all kinds of like hip places in every city we visited. And it's a different culture there, and you have to understand that culture. I do. Um, yeah, I mean, and yes, I understand what's going to happen in October 31st. So that's where, like cities can make it illegal. If Arlington County makes Halloween parties illegal, you still want to college students party secretly somewhere, uh, maybe underground, but you reduce the parties. That will save a lot of lives. I mean, I'm not trying to be a party pooper here, but people are dying from COVID, as you can see, over 1,164. And if there's a party, you're gonna go. But if there isn't a party, you can't go. The majority of the people will not go to a party if there isn't one available readily. And there's still the secret parties that people go to. Well, you will reduce the potential for death significantly. That's why I'm recommending Arlington County to legalize Halloween parties. Maybe have a curfew, impose a curfew on Halloween, uh, countywide. And I'm asking Fairfax County to do that, Alexandria City government to do that, and Falls Church government to do that. You want to save lives. Um, but it's like it's almost impossible not to go to a party if you're a college student. I mean, geez, it's Halloween, you want to party. I mean, you've been a college student, not like on Halloween. I when I was at Cambridge, I went dancing every night. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, like every day. So I know how, partying culture is. There's a venue for it. You can always find it. Uh, you know, uh, I'm a pretty popular guy. People like me. Beautiful women like me. What can I say? I just need one to marry. I just need one beautiful woman who's a good Christian to marry. Obviously, she has to be a Christian, but anything after that is not that important to me. As long as she's like very beautiful and has a very beautiful body. Those are the two most important things after she's a Christian. I don't care if she has a high school diploma, college degree. I don't care. Because, if she wants a high school diploma, she could do that GED online. There are online high school courses too at Arlington County Public Schools. Um, I'm marrying somebody 18 and over, so I'm happy to marry somebody who's 18. If she's Christian, has beautiful body and beautiful face, but that's very important to me. And if she loves me, obviously, we have to love each other. But anywhere between like 18, to like 26 is good. Um, yeah. So yeah, but most guys are happy with beautiful women. They don't really care about what degrees you have. Uh, it's most guys cannot get the beautiful woman. That's why they don't marry the beautiful woman, right? They're like geeks and nerds, degrees. you know. But if you can marry a beautiful woman, who cares what college degree they have? I mean, who cares if they have a college degree, right? Um, because there are a lot of smart women without college degrees. Some of the most stupid women I met had college degrees from like Harvard and Yale. You know what I'm saying? I've dated women at Harvard. I've dated women at Yale. Some of the smartest women I've met in life don't have any college degrees. They're like smart, really smart. Um, yeah, so college degrees are overrated. And you can get your job. Pre-COVID-19 America, it can help you get a job. Now, in COVID-19 America, it's probably not going to help you get a job either. You know, white collar jobs are gone. They're going. Can I get a five on beautiful women? Can I get a five on a beautiful? I mean, the most important thing for a woman is take care of your weight because being thin is like half the battle. If you're thin, you could be ugly, but you're gonna look pretty. If you're fat, even if you're pretty, you're gonna look ugly. Yeah. Being skinny is half the battle. I mean, don't starve yourself. You don't have to starve yourself to be thin. Just eat like fruits and vegetables, you know. And then, have a sandwich, two slices of whole wheat bread with like a bologna or turkey or chicken slice. Yeah, you can keep your weight down. Just one sandwich, two pieces of bread, one slice of like ham or turkey, and then like, salad. Just eat something every meal, but something very, like that. You're not gonna get fat. You're gonna be very thin. So yeah, don't starve yourself. Um, yeah. Um, yeah. A lot of people are gonna die in America, especially after if your local government like Arlington County, Fairfax County, Falls Church, Alexandria City government will not shut down your city or county for Halloween. You're gonna have spikes in death. That is like absolutely guaranteed. Um, so yeah, shut the county down if you want to save lives. You have the guts in COVID-19 era to leave, right? Don't be like following people, right? Because somebody has to leave to save lives. Why do you think I worked 3 months to shut down all 4 public school districts? Because they needed to be shut down to save lives. Somebody has to leave. I'm a born leader. My dad's a leader. My dad was the head of the Korean Presbyterian Church, uh, in America. And my grandfather was head of the Korean Presbyterian Church in Korea. Yeah, so I mean, I'm like born into generations of leaders. So I'm a natural born leader, but I've worked hard to develop my leadership. Um, yeah, you have to be a leader to save people's lives, to improve people's lives, right? Jesus was a leader, right? He didn't do anything that he thought would be bad for people, right? He did things that he felt people needed, right? Even if it wasn't the most popular thing to do. We could have shut Arlington County down and impose a curfew during Halloween if you want to save people's lives. Otherwise, Arlington is going to go out of control. Do you know that Arlington is in top 10 for new COVID cases in the last 24 hours in the state of Virginia? I'm in Arlington. If you're in Arlington, we're headed for a massive death. We may have tens of thousands of deaths in the flu season. That's 6 months long, 6 long months. We're top 10 place for COVID-19 cases right now in Virginia. Um, yeah, it's bad. Arlington's going to have so many deaths. It's not going to be funny. If you get COVID-19, come to Virginia Hospital Center. As you know, I work as a registered nurse in Virginia Hospital Center. I'm licensed in the state of Virginia with a multi-state license, so I could be a registered nurse in like over 30 states. And I have a separate registered nurse license in DC, which is not part of the multi-license of Virginia. But yeah, so I don't believe in the liberal media that keeps lying to you. Liberal media said what they said vaccine's going to be here by October, didn't they? CNN lied to you, CBS lied to you, NBC lied to you, ABC lied to you, and said there's going to be a vaccine in October. Where's our vaccine? Right? Right? Liberal media lies to you. I mean, how much are you going to believe in the liberal media? For God's sake, we have 1,164 people dead in 24 hours. That's 24 hours, one day. We have 1,164 people dead. Do you think that's a joke? Liberal media keeps lying to you. That's why this is happening. That's why I'm going to bring you the truth. I'm not going to lie to you. We're going to have 3 million to 30 million people die unless we shut everything down. We have to shut down Halloween. Or we're going to have multiple deaths, millions of deaths. Yeah, I mean, we know what we need to do to survive COVID. Obviously, some people are going to die, but you can reduce the death. But you're not going to do it. Arlington County Board, full of Democrats, they don't care about your life. They believe in the liberal media, Arlington County Democrat, Arlington County board members, Democrats. This is why I vote for every Democrat in November 3rd. Because they lie to you. They don't care about your life. I mean, if I were in Arlington board, I'm not going to run for Arlington board. I'm running for U.S. Congress, you know. But, the only reason I'm running for U.S. Congress is to save the United States of America. I'm not interested in being a politician. But it's an emergency situation, and I am the Leonardo da Vinci of 21st century. So, United States of America, which I love, with my country, I want to save 330 million Americans from COVID-19 death. But I'm not going to run for like Arlington County board. I don't want to be a professional politician. I'm a registered nurse. I'm saving lives every day. Yeah. But I mean, I'll be happy to be a U.S. congressman and bite the bullet and go and save America. Yeah, I'll be happy to do that if you vote for me and vote me in. But I'm not going to be a politician. I'm not going to run for like Arlington County board. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But a lot of people want me to run for as a U.S. For Arlington County board. Especially a lot of people from Arlington. They're like, why don't you run for Arlington County board? I'm like, I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? Uh, yeah. I mean, if I become a county board member, I'll be like one guy who's conservative. I'm not like all these Democrats who want to open the county for Halloween parties and trick or treating. I'll be like, shut the Arlington County down. Let's impose a curfew. And all the Democrats in the Arlington County board will be like, no, we want everybody to have parties. I mean, I like to have parties. I mean, I was the first one to throw parties in Arlington for Halloween, but not during COVID-19, I mean, yeah, I mean, more family fun, the better. That's what I said. More barbecues, more events, more fun stuff, the better. But not during COVID-19. Yeah, because your life matters. I mean, if you want to enjoy partying in Arlington, in Halloween for next 30 years, you got to live. If you die, you can't party. So we need to shut everything down in Arlington County. Um, yeah, so I mean these liberal Democrats in Arlington County, they don't know what they're doing. So yeah, I mean, why do you think we are in top 10 list for the whole state of Virginia for new COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours? Why do you think that is? Arlington County was in the top 10 list during the flu season, first flu season for COVID-19 cases. Why do you think that is? Because Arlington County Democrats don't know what they're doing. This is mostly Democrats there in Arlington County board. So that's why I'm not going to vote for a single Democrat for Arlington County board. You know, I'll write in a name if I have to. I'm just not going to vote for a Democrat. They don't know what they're doing. I mean, they put us in the top 10 list for COVID-19 during the first flu season. They're going to put us in the top 10 list again. I just, I don't want to be part of what the Democrats are doing to kill Arlington residents. As you know, I don't believe in the liberal media. I'm trying to save your life. That's why I worked hard to shut your school down, Arlington County School Board schools. What did your Arlington County county board members do to shut the school down? What did they do? Nothing. That's what I'm saying. I don't believe the liberal media. The liberal media doesn't care about your life. You know, what do you expect from a bunch of people who want to to make it possible for women to kill their own babies? I mean, you know, abortion. I mean, hey, what do you expect from them, right? I don't expect that much, right? If they're willing to push women to kill their own babies, they're not going to try to save your life in COVID-19, right? Look at Pelosi. Pelosi doesn't care if you get stimulus check or not, right? She's going to keep pushing the liberal agenda. You should have gotten your stimulus check like in July or sooner. But Pelosi, because she's trying to force all these liberal agendas, held up your checks. You didn't get your money that you need to save your family because of liberal Democrats like Pelosi. That's why you got to put me in U.S. Congress to put some sense into these poor politicians. You know, you're suffering, you need help. You don't need Nancy Pelosi to play political games and hold up your money. Um, yeah, it's top COVID-19 cases in the United States. California has 849,788 cases, 2% death rate. They have 16,508 deaths. Most of it in the summer. It's shocking what happened to California in the summer. But what's more shocking is what will happen to California in the winter. Over 1 million people could die in California, and obviously Halloween will help to kill tens of thousands more in November and December. Heading into Christmas, and you may have hundreds of thousands died in California. Texas is in the same situation, 812,609 cases, dying at 2% death rate. 16,871 deaths. Texas beat California for COVID-19 deaths. Texas can also have over 1 million deaths. Yeah. Florida is number 3 with 728,921 cases, dying at 2%, 15,186. Look at them. More cases you have, more death you're going to have, right? You see the point? New York has 473,143. Death rate of 7% because most of their cases were during first flu season. So you can see how bad the second flu season is going to be. Death rate is going to be like from 7% to like 20%, depending on which state you're in. 473,143 cases, a 7% death rate. And that includes like cases this summer. 33,293. Most of the deaths were during the first flu season. Georgia, you know, I love Georgia. Georgia women are very beautiful. I don't know, Virginia women, they say are beautiful too, but I don't know where all the beautiful Virginia women are. I'm still like, although, Virginia Hospital Center has a lot of attractive women. So yeah, I'm really happy there. No, I mean, it's a good hospital, so I'm happy there, but I am single. So, hopefully maybe, God will send somebody from Virginia Hospital Center. Who knows? I don't know. But, I'm sure God has his plans. Um, Georgia has um, 329,032 cases and 2% death rate and 7,248. See the difference between death based on how many people get infected? So Florida has 2% death rate, but they have 728,921, over 4,000, around 4,000 more. So their death rate is like double, more than double. Georgia. If you get cases, you're gonna die, right? That's something you gotta remember. More cases, more deaths. 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 More deaths. Yeah. More cases, more deaths. More cases, more deaths. More cases, more deaths. Yeah, don't forget. Um, yeah, Virginia is becoming front and center. As you know, our Governor Northam, and the First Lady of Virginia, Mrs. Northam, they got COVID from Prince William Public Schools. Yeah, open schools. Prince William County is an idiot county. They opened up schools and infected our governor and our First Lady with COVID-19. That's what happened when you open school. It's like poetic justice. When you open up schools and you send your children because you're like, we want to open school, we want to open school, and your children get COVID-19 and die. Sadly, the poetic justice, you asked for that death because you said open the schools, right? You got what you asked for. As I said, God works within his created order. God is not God of chaos, God is God of order. If you keep demanding to open schools in COVID-19 America and your child gets COVID by going to an open school and dies, it's your fault. It's 100% your fault. Keep your children at home if you want your child not to die. COVID-19 America, is Virginia headed to over 100,000 COVID-19 deaths? Let's look at the articles for the answer. First article is Virginia passed 1,000 new COVID-19 cases for fourth straight day. Cases are going up in Virginia. And that means deaths are going to go up. So this is from Inside Nova from today by staff. It's like Virginia Hospital Center. You come there, you're going to be treated by staff. I'm one of the staff. So you may have me as your nurse, registered nurse. A lot of applications have me as their registered nurse. So yeah, if you feel like, for whatever reason, something with your hospital center. Oh, don't forget, during the 6 months of flu season, a lot of people are going to die, right? And elective surgeries were shut down again for like 6 months. For 6 months, we don't know when it's going to happen, but sometime in the future, elective surgeries will shut down. So if you are thinking about getting a surgery because you have a back problem or knee problem, or you are fat and you want to get a bariatric surgery, whatever surgery you need to go get it done now before things get worse. Because after October 31st, things are going to get worse. Virginia may shut down again, and you cannot get any of these elective surgeries. If you're over the age of 50, you need to get your colonoscopy because you may have colon cancer. A lot of Americans die every year from colon cancer because for many of them, they didn't diagnose it in time. So as a preventative measure, because you could die from colon cancer just as you could die from COVID, and for 6 months, you're not going to be able to get colonoscopy. So if you're over 50, you should get an order from your doctor to come to Virginia Hospital Center for colonoscopy. Yeah. They check to see if you have cancer in your colon, right? And if you have a small cancerous cell, they cut it out, and then it could be gone. You may not get colon cancer once they cut it out, and if they cut everything out, well, the cancerous cells out. That's the best way to like prevent you from dying from colon cancer, which is a very common form of death from cancer in America. Yeah, so if you're over 50 and you haven't gotten your colonoscopy, come to Virginia Hospital Center, get that done before elective stuff shuts down. Um, it'll be charged if you have colon cancer and it doesn't get discovered, you die from it. Yeah, Virginia Hospital Center is a very good hospital and people are really nice, so like the stuff there. So the article in Inside Nova says the UVA Institute, which releases weekly models forecasting future trends in COVID-19 cases, they have to revise it every week. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm right, but Virginia, University of Virginia, and many other universities, they keep revising it because they follow the liberal media. And, I don't believe in the liberal media. And liberal media lies to you. They said there's going to be a vaccine by October. There isn't, right? Um, so, uh, had said last week that it appeared the state had hit the peak case early in August. Week. They predicted like wrong. Yes. University of Virginia, which is the best university in Virginia, predicted wrong. As I said, we're going to have a lot of deaths. We're going to have, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of deaths in Virginia in 6 months of COVID. For God's sake, our governor, he's actually pretty woman. Mrs. Northam is quite attractive. Now, he's won an extra point from me, Governor Northam. Anybody who marries a pretty woman gets an extra point, Yeah, so I give you an extra point, Governor Northam. Your wife is kind of attractive then. Yeah, so, yeah, so let me just read from the beginning because we kind of lost the train of thought. The University of Virginia Institute, which releases weekly models forecasting future trends in COVID-19 cases, had said last week that it appeared the state had hit its peak caseload in early August. However, in this week's report, released Friday, that's yesterday, you noticed a recent uptick in new cases. You think? Nice, very nice. Come on, y'all try, ladies. Here we go. I know she died in the bomb and give me. You go, girl. That's it. A little bit louder. Come on. Yeah. She died in the bomb and give me. Oh, y'all better sing. All right, men, are y'all ready? Y'all don't mind singing. Come on, clap them hands and clap on the devil head. That's it. Clap hard as you can. Let the devil know he's a liar. All right, man, I want you to say this. Devil's a liar. I don't believe in the liberal media. Y'all hear that, man? Let's try it. Here we go. The recent uptick in cases appears to be reflected statewide. It's not just one area in Virginia. It is statewide. Yes, statewide. We're looking at every inch of the state here, and it is statewide. It's statewide. It's not like there's an inch that's missing. Every inch of Virginia is hit with COVID. With perhaps the sharpest upswing in the most sparsely populated areas of the state. What do you think that happened? Huh? I said close down the universities, right? Universities and colleges will vector COVID-19. Radford University will bring COVID-19. to the small rural areas around there. Longwood University will bring COVID-19 to the rural areas over there. I mean, for God's sake, why do you think I told Governor Northam to issue a law to require all the colleges to go 100% online? I said this would happen. Heerak Christian Kim, independent candidate for U.S. Congress in Virginia's 8th district, said this would happen. Can I go to 5 on Heerak Kim's insights? Heerak Christian Kim's insights on COVID. This is right. Heerak Christian Kim was right. That Virginia will have spikes in COVID-19 when colleges open in rural areas. Yes, can I get a 5? Obviously, I hate to be celebrating that I was right, but I was right. I was right. I was right. Yeah, so the recent uptick in cases appears to be reflected statewide, with perhaps the sharpest upswing in the most seriously populated areas of the state. Southwestern Virginia, where the 7-day average of new cases stand at 269.6, just a tad below its high of 273 reached in early September. That's like February, October. In Northern Virginia, 281 new cases were reported Saturday. That's today in Northern Virginia. We are in Northern Virginia, in Virginia's 8th district. This is Northern Virginia. New cases were reported Saturday. 281 new cases were reported Saturday in Northern Virginia. That's where we are. That's where Virginia Hospital Center is. That's where Fairfax Hospital is. That's where Alexandria Hospital is. It's in Virginia's 8th district. Can I get a witness? 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 And the region's 7-day average jumped to 235.3, its highest level since September 4th. That's still far below the region's peak 7-day average of 685.3 on May 31st, however. That's probably going to be more like 6,853 per day, maybe higher. We're already beginning our 6 months long flu season.
Can I get 5 people to sing it with me? Hey, yeah, shall prosper. If you believe it, say it won't work.
A lot of people are going to die. Yeah, all indication is there that over 100,000 Virginians will die in the next 6 months, maybe including Governor Northam and his beautiful wife, Mrs. Northam. Yeah, it's sad. Yeah, it's really, really sad what's happening in Virginia. We're headed to massive deaths. Second article is Virginia Military Institute has 42 active COVID-19 cases with nearly 200 cadets in quarantine. That's from today. As I said to Governor Northam, close down all the colleges, issue an executive order requiring every Virginia college to go 100% online, because they need to be educated online. Obviously, military academies have to meet in person. But what's happening in Virginia Military Institute highlights what's happening in every college in America that's open. Military colleges may have to weather the storm with a lot of students now because they have to train the military, which is essential workforce, right? I mean, if China attacks us, we need soldiers to protect us, right? But no other colleges need to open. UVA doesn't have to open. There's no essential workers there, right? Yeah, I mean, science is symbolic, right? Virginia Military Institute represents Virginia. It's produced generals during the Civil War that protected uh, um, Virginia from hostile forces. Throughout the history of Virginia Military Institute trained leaders. Governor Northam was trained at Virginia Military Institute as a graduate. It's a proud thing to be a part of the alumni of Virginia Military Institute. It's a very Virginian thing. And you see in the photo, next to the emblem, Virginia Military Institute insignia. Now the coronavirus update, the whole military institute is, suffering from COVID. Um, and they have a portal there. And you see how careful Governor Northam is not to get infected with COVID, wearing a mask, he's talking through the screens. But he still got COVID, right? Um, yeah, COVID is pretty scary. The article written by staff, kind of like the staff at Virginia Hospital Center, will take care of you if you come to Virginia Hospital Center. And the staff for NBC 10 News, they wrote, school leaders are still discussing whether cadets can go home for the Thanksgiving holiday. They're expected to make a decision in the next week. Yeah, it's going to be bad. My recommendation is not to send them home. Um, the reason I didn't want colleges to open was that children could remain with their parents while learning online, right? UVA students, University of Virginia students, Old Dominion University students. Old Dominion University is a very good online program, actually, degree program. Virginia Commonwealth University program. I mean, you could have done all that online at home. Then you would never have to leave home. You could be there with your mom and dad. But now that you've left home, sending the children back with COVID can kill their parents. It's a serious problem. So I recommend no college send the students back during Thanksgiving. Um, I mean, I told you not to open the colleges, right? That way you would have to pull them away from their parents. I worked ceaselessly at Georgetown University for 3 months, 4 years at Georgetown University. They were originally going to have all the first year students come to campus, and I said, no way, Jose. I bombarded Georgetown University leadership with pleas to close down the university to save lives of Georgetown students. I'm a leader, right? And I'm going to act like a leader by doing what I can to save lives. And that's why I created the show COVID-19 Update by Heerak on April 2nd. By next April 2nd, we will have millions of Americans dead. That's what is coming. And signs and symptoms are there in public health. Um, but that's going to happen. That's what he said. And so I worked for 3 months to shut down Georgetown University, so the campus is completely shut down, except for a few people who are researching, like scientists and everything. People who are researching COVID-19, basically. Yeah, and that's how much I care about Heerak, Georgetown University students. I care about you guys. And as you know, I was the vice president of graduate students government from May 2019 to May 2020. So, I've got a leader's heart of a leader, servant leader. As a servant leader, I serve you. I want to save your life, right? And that's what I've been doing. For 3 months, I've been working hard to save your life. I march for life. I'm a supporter of the pro-life movement. I'm very actively involved in pro-life movement at Georgetown. Yeah, so And I was very actively involved in pro-life movement at University of Pennsylvania when I was an undergraduate there. I worked closely with the Newman Center, Agatha, St. Agatha Parish, which sponsors the Penn Newman Center for Catholic students at University of Pennsylvania and Drexel University. Yeah, so we have to do what we can to encourage life, right? The protection of life. Um, and there are 25 of us who graduate from Georgetown University in the Master's Program of Clinical Nurse Leader. And as you know, I'm working at Virginia Hospital Center in Arlington, Virginia. Uh, there are my colleagues working in area hospitals like Washington Hospital Center and different hospitals, Fairfax Hospital, in the area. And I'm predicting that every hospital will have at least 12 nurses die because nurses take care of patients, right? And that's 12 nurses minimum will die by Christmas in Virginia Hospital Center. Obviously, I don't want them to, but we can't lie, we can't ignore reality. We have to understand what's going on and face the reality. Fairfax Hospital will have over 12 nurses die, and that's just for nurses. We're not talking about patient care techs, respiratory therapists, surgeons, medical doctors, occupational therapists, physical therapists, we're not talking about them. They wouldn't have many deaths too. But at least 12 nurses will die. Fairfax Hospital, Alexandria Hospital will have at least 12 nurses die. MedStar, Georgetown University Hospital will have at least 12 nurses die. Children's National Hospital will have at least 12 nurses die. George Washington University Hospital will have at least 12 nurses die. Sibley Hospital will have at least 12 nurses die. It's going to be tragic by Christmas. Yeah, there's going to be death everywhere. That's coming, especially if you don't shut down for Halloween. You're going to have exponentially greater. Like, we may even have over 10,000 deaths in Northern Virginia from now to Thanksgiving. Yeah, I mean, it depends on how bad the Halloween parties are. We don't know. I mean, we're entering flu season. That can exponentially spike by Christmas season. We may have 20,000 people dead in Northern Virginia or more. Um, yeah, I mean, this is like COVID-19 hotspot. Hopefully you believe in Jesus, so you're gonna have it when you die from COVID-19. Um, it would suck to spend eternity in hell, the eternal torture chamber by Satan, and torture forever and ever and ever, burning fire in hell. That'll be sad. Yeah, I mean, if you haven't accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, I encourage you to accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. So if you die from COVID-19, you'll enter after death into paradise, into eternal life with Jesus in heaven, and not go to eternal damnation in hell where Satan will torture you forever. Um, so go to church tomorrow, worship God with your family. Just make sure you don't socialize at close distances with people. Yeah, you gotta take care of yourself. This is COVID-19 America. Yeah, I hope you have a good Sunday, good Lord's Day, day when you worship God with other people of God. And obviously, worship is not for socialization, right? That's not the purpose of worship. Worship is to bring honor and glory to God.
Scot free. to show how little I know about leading, about controlling my life. For you see, all of these things have worked together just to make the best of me. If I were in control of my life, I think that I would have worked things out differently. There would be no hurt, no pain, no disappointments. These things, my life will be stop free. But that just goes to show how little I know about leading, about controlling my life. For you see, all these things, all the hurt and all the pain, all the ups and all the downs, all of these things have worked together just to make the best of everybody sitting here tonight. But I'm glad God controls my life. My time. To trust. I don't care whatever may come my way. If I were in control of my life, they are in his hand, in his hands, hands. My tongue, they are in